everybody, welcome back to the Winner's Circle. I am Derrick Lavasser.
And I'm Cody Calafieri.
And we are here with the third evicted house guest, Brent. Brent, what's going on, my man? Welcome to the Winner's Circle.
What's up, guys? Appreciate you having me here. Big fans.
We
Cody, I thought you played a flawless game last season. So
Oh, thank you, bro. I appreciate you, man.
seriously, it was a no-brainer. You should have won it. So
I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it, bro.
That's a good answer. That's a good answer. Listen, we
start off
appreciate
on the
you
right
coming
foot.
here tonight. You know, this is interesting because you just got evicted a couple of hours ago.
Yeah.
So you're already right here with us, and so we know you're probably not too familiar with everything that's going on in the outside world, and we know we have a short time with you, so we're gonna dive right into the questions. We have a couple from us, a couple from some fans,
okay,
and you can tell us your initial reaction.
Yeah.
okay, do it.
Yeah, bro. First of all, I just want to say congratulations for even getting on the show. I mean, you went home third, but you're 16 of millions that tried to put in for the show this year. So congratulations on that, first and foremost. First thing we like to jump into is just, going into Big Brother, what did you expect before you came into the house? And then now that you've played the game and you're out, is it exactly what you expected? And if it's not, we just want to know how you feel it's different.
So going into the Big Brother house, I definitely expected to be betrayed, lied to, told whatever I needed to be told to advance someone else's game, and I got just that as far as coming out. It's like, I unfortunately had a target on my back as soon as I walked in, and Frenchie made that known to me, and I just couldn't get rid of it. That paint, that red paint on my back just dried, and I was in defense mode. I would have liked to have done things differently going in, but when your back's against the wall and you have to kind of scratch and claw, that's what I did, and I'm not surprised. If I didn't go home this week, it was going to be next week. So
yeah, I think it's tough.
Game.
Yeah, it's a tough game. I think you really did. You really got pinned very early on, and then with Frenchie going home last week, there was just a lot of stuff that was going on in the house, and a lot of running around, and your name just kind of never shook.
it was messy.
Yeah. You'll see. You'll get to go home. You'll get to watch it. You get to see for yourself. But with everything you just said, it's kind of a nice segue into this next question. As Cody said, you got on the show. There's a lot of potential people out there who are watching this right now, and they may be future house guests. So now that you've had an opportunity to actually play the game, what's one piece of advice you would give for someone who may potentially be following in your footsteps and maybe on season 24?
Definitely the piece of advice I would give is observe from the get-go. Sit back, observe, get to know how people act when they're telling the truth, and when you catch them in a lie, really observe that. That's free information. Unfortunately, I had to go in and use my voice a lot, and I didn't want to right away, but I had to try to get the narrative to change off of me. So one piece of advice I can give is definitely when you go in there, observe as much information as you possibly can, because it's going to be so detrimental to the game later on,
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. I think it was definitely tough for you because it was just a really crazy this season, and Derek can attest to this. This season's playing at 180 miles an hour right from the start.
Dude,
it's been crazy.
It is a puzzle that's pure white, 10,000 pieces, and I'm just like, what is going on? It's wild.
Yeah, it was crazy. So this kind of leads us into, so we do fan questions. People posted this on our Instagram, and so we're bringing it to you. This is from @ConMorse. He said, Brent, why do you think everyone, including your team, turned on you?
I was, like you were saying earlier, I was a name that no one could get out of their mouth. And my association with Frenchie was purely because I was trying to get out of his crosshairs. I didn't want to get pulled into a lot of the things he's offering, but you can't go to the first HOH and say, no, I'm good. I'm not going to join this alliance. That makes no sense. I'm not going to join this final two that you just offered me. I mean, especially when he was already gunning for you. So it was just tough for me to try to get that taste in people's mouths to be sweet again. It was bitter, and it was associated with something that really aggravated the house. And so I'm not surprised that everyone wanted to get rid of me, because like I said, I would have done the same exact thing to myself if I was in their shoes. So no hard feelings.
Well, why do you think your team, though? Because your team, it's a benefit to have numbers. So why do you think they kind of flipped on you?
Well, unfortunately, I kept using the narrative is that the team aspect was going to dissipate in the next couple of weeks. And maybe I used it too much because they started thinking, you're right, it is. So me building that narrative to try to help keep Alyssa and have her pull away from her team, as much as possible, I think sunk in a little too much with my own team. Like I said, I would have protected them as long as possible, but I understand. Get rid of me, show your loyalty to the house.
That's how it goes, man. That
Yeah,
unanimous vote, it'll get you. Next one's from @Matt Stadnick. He asks, okay, we all saw the live show just now. You know, we were right there with you. You know, going into it, we felt like it was going to be a blindside, but come to find out when you got evicted, it didn't feel like that. So what happened? Did somebody tip you off before the actual eviction where you knew, hey, I'm going home?
No, it was all everything that I was able to obtain purely off observation. I mean, like I said, subconsciously, people's bodies tell you what they're thinking, even when they're trying to say something differently.
Yep.
Proximity and the way people, the mannerisms and the way they carry themselves and their body language, all equated to, hey, listen, we already came up with our decision, and we want you out. And that's why I was like, if I stay, I would have been more shocked if I was able to stay.
Yeah.
Like really, truly, I would have been like, oh wow, this actually went well, especially after the last 2 weeks went.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have been pleasantly. You guys would have got a big grin on my face.
Yeah.
If I stayed. So yeah.
Yeah.
No one tipped me off. It was just observation.
Yeah. So I mean, going right off of that. So, you know, hypothetically speaking, if you did stay and you were somehow able to muster up the votes to stay and you were able to then bounce in and win the HOH, we want to know the 2 people that you would have nominated and what your reasoning is behind nominating those 2 people.
Okay, so it would have been X, so Xavier and Christian. I would have looked X right in the eyes and said, the reason why I'm nominating you is to do what you couldn't do, look you in the eyes like a man and tell you you are my target, because obviously I'm not an idiot. As soon as he opened his mouth seconds before nominations, I knew I was his target. It made no sense otherwise. Ran it 1,000 times. Christian, I would have looked at him and said, listen, I know you can win. You can win. And if you're going to win, you're going to take yourself off the block. Great. But you're not taking anyone else with you. So it's either going to be yourself and that's it. Or because I know Xavier would pick Christian if it was house guest choice.
Yeah.
Or if the odds were he was going to be grabbed, he has a great chance of winning. But I would have put up X, Christian, X being my ideal target. But if they both stayed, I would have tried to get rid of Christian. That makes sense.
No, it makes a lot of sense. And those are 2 really good players in the game. So you're not too far.
The fact that no one can see that, like, why are you getting rid of one person that can actually help compete against them in any type of, like, I'm on your team and they just showed that they're physical beasts.
No,
the only
they're
physical
good players.
I got was spinning and I puked everywhere.
So I don't know if you got any information, but do you know who won the HOH?
Christian.
So there you
He
go.
won a veto, he won a wild card, and he won an HOH. And you're getting rid of me, the guy that
good
after he spun. You know what I mean?
So I need 2 names from you, okay?
Yes, go ahead.
Who's in your opinion right now? Who's in the best position to win the game, and who would you like to see evicted next?
So, I would definitely say Hannah's in a great position to win. Close with Azza as well, because they're just staying low key, letting everyone else throw the punches. And then to get evicted next, I would love to see Christian get evicted next. It's not going to happen.
Not going to happen now.
Well, you know.
But I would love to see X or Christian be evicted. But obviously, with him being the HOH, I mean, unfortunately, I would like to see. I mean, I everyone's so much fun and great.
Yeah, it's not personal. It's not personal. Like you said it multiple times. It's the right thing.
I really can't. I mean, I don't think anyone's a threat to Christian and X. I really don't. I mean, maybe Derrick X because he wins vetoes.
He's a good player.
Other than that, I don't really see anyone being as like who I'd wish to leave next. But if I had to pick a gun to my head, I'd say Derrick F because he's lying a lot.
You pick some good people, and I will tell you this: it's interesting. You're going to find this out. Our interview with Frenchie, he also said Hannah was in the best position to win. So when you go back and watch the show, it's going to be interesting to see if you feel that way after, and I'm sure we'll talk down the road. We have one final thing for you. We change it up a little bit here tonight, and it's because, you know, you told Julie tonight you had a good read on the game. You were cooking some things up. So we want to try to hit you with a little bit. We know you already had some interviews before us, obviously, so you may already know. This may have stolen our thunder. But there were 2 major alliances in the house, and you weren't part of them. Spoiler alert. So Cody's going to hit you with the names of those alliances and who was in them, and we just want your 10-second reaction to both alliances. What you think about it?
Now,
And
have
these
you
are the
had?
ones that weren't in, right?
Did
You were
you?
not
Do
in these
you?
alliances.
You were not in these
In
alliances.
ahead.
These are the ones.
These are the two best alliances in the
Yeah,
house.
and this is something that we've been talking about week in and week out. So these are the two alliances. I'm going to read you the first one and then the second one. The first one is an alliance called the Cookout, which includes Xavier, Derrick X, Ozza, Tiffany, Kyland, and Hannah. And then
No, Derrick F. Derrick F.
Derrick F, not Derrick
okay.
X, not Derrick X, not Derrick X. So I'll say it again: Xavier, Derrick F, so Big D, Ozza, Tiffany, Kyland, Hannah. So that's an alliance called the Cookout. That's one that we feel like they're just really strong. There's a lot of strong players there. The next one is one called the Royal Flush, and this is a combination of a few teams. We have Xavier, Claire, Christian, Tiffany, Alyssa, Kyland, Sarah Beth. So that's the Kings and the Queens. And then the sneak is your boy, Derrick X. Came in right underneath you, bro.
What's your thoughts on this right now? We see your head spinning.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm pissed off about? I came up with Royal Flush as a name for ours, and everyone was like, "Oh, that's stupid." And then
No way.
yeah, I said, "How about Royal Flush? It's the best hand in poker because it's card related." And everyone was like, "Oh, no, it's stupid." And then, I'm insulted.
This makes
No,
it even better.
What's your thoughts? Did you have
I
any clue? Did you have any clue?
To be honest, I completely thought I was running the house. I'm not gonna lie.
I appreciate you being honest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro.
no, seriously, really. I mean, you said the Cookout, right? The
Yeah.
Cookout, I wouldn't really expect because that's a lot of quiet players.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a lot of people that just laying low.
Yeah.
So would never expected that. I would have been able to smell it maybe, but if it was
Pun.
a Cookout,
Pun
I wouldn't have been
intended.
able
Pun
to-
intended.
I would have been able to spot out where it was happening. As far as the Royal Flush, I mean, Derrick X, like I said, his loyalty was far more to Kyland since day one, because him, Kyland, and Travis were trying to go against me, and I was on Derrick's team. I was given to him by Julia herself.
Yeah.
Here, listen, so I tried to use that as a narrative as far as getting Derrick X to use Kyland to form an alliance with us. But I'm more shocked about the Cookout than I am the Royal Flush.
Because they're laying low. They're laying low.
They're the best. We think they're the best alliance in the house.
Because we
And
don't think
nobody
anybody's
ever
close.
expects that.
Because we don't think anyone's close. Yeah.
Nobody suspects it. But
You would
listen,
never ever guess that in the house. No.
there you go. That's it. And that's why we think they're the best.
Yeah.
Listen, we appreciate you joining. We know it didn't go your way. And I'm not just saying it, this is called the winner circle, but we tell everybody. And like Cody said to you earlier, it's really hard to get on the show. And it takes a lot of courage to put yourself in front of millions of people like you did. So although I'm sure you're going to have some regrets, you're going to be thinking a lot, understand that what you did is something to be proud of. You're part of the BB fam now. We appreciate you joining us here on the Winner Circle. And I'm sure we'll talk to you down the road.
Yeah.
Guys, I appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and
It really is.
and if you want to let anybody know where they can find you, because
Oh,
people
right.
watching
Give
this
us
interview.
shout-outs for your social.
So I only have an Instagram. It's Fly with Champagne. Champagne spelled just like the drink. That's all I really got for any type of social media as of now. But
I'm sure they can follow you. They'll probably have more questions for you.
Yep.
And we will talk to you soon, man. Thank you for joining us.
Yep.
Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much.
Yep.
Have a good one.